Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. Want to take you guys through what I consider to be an absolutely awesome Steam game deal. It's a flash deal, so it's only available for a day. And I'm going to go over some other deals. These are all from Fanatical. They're Steam keys. Y'all know how it works. Now, the absolutely awesome deal at a surface level, I think a lot of people are going to look at it and be like, okay, this deal isn't that great comparatively to some of the other deals that are in this list. However, I think this deal is so good, and I'll explain why, but there are some deals that I think some people would be like, yo, that deal is better than this deal that you're hyping up so much. But the deal I want to mention is Castlevania, the Dominus Collection, 41% off for $14.74. Now, yes, $14 sounds like a lot, and there's a little bit of bias attached to this. Like, I grew up playing these games, but I grew up playing a lot of these games on this list, and certainly paying $14, that's some high roller stuff. That's some, Bitcoin merchant type stuff right there. On this channel, I don't talk a lot about paying $14 on video games. However, these games are so good, and they are a collection of Nintendo DS games. So you do have the janky screen layout and the dual screen setup. Like, I wish they would do ground up remakes of all of these games. Konami be remaking a lot of these games these days, but whatever. At the very least, you get these games in this collection. And the thing is, these games for like the original DS versions were going for a pretty penny for quite a while. So the fact that it's available in this collection and the fact that the initial price point was $24.99 is already insane. The fact that it's now down to $14.74 makes these games even better. And yes, they're a little bit dated. Visually, they're not going to grab you in that extent. But man, these games are so good. Dawn of Sorrow, Portrait of Ruin, Order of Ecclesia. These games are just great. And if you're remotely into the Castlevania, Metroidvania style of games, it's going to be right up your alley. You'll enjoy them. And at this price point, I think it's great. For a while, it was going on sale for like $18, $20. But now, sub $15. Like, I think this deal is ridiculous, you guys. And again, there's a little bit of bias attached to it because I am such a big fan of these games, but again, I think it's a great pickup, so I would definitely recommend it. Definitely check that out. So great pickup there. All right, now we're going to move on to some of these deals that I think a lot of people are going to be like, all right, these deals are actually insane. But I think that Castlevania deal is tremendous. So again, I would recommend you to check it out. Right off the bat, I do want to mention the Build Your Own Capcom Bundle. Now, this deal is low-key insane as well. So it's if you don't know how Fanatical does their bundles, essentially you get to pick as many games as you want at a minimum of 3, and the more you pick, the more you save per game. So if you buy 3, it's $9.99 in total, and you'll pay $3.33 an item. 5 games will have it at $3 an item, and you'll pay $15. Then 7+ games, it'll be $2.85. You'll get the best value that way. However, I know a lot of you guys might not be in the market to spend, or buy 7+ games. So they've got Devil May Cry 5 and Virgil. So yes, you can get DMC 5 for $3.33, which is ridiculous. Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition, that's ridiculous as well because that holds up in price. Resident Evil 6 is here. Resident Evil 5, DMC Devil May Cry, which that game holds up in price as well. Mega Man Legacy Collection 2, Dead Rising 3 is in there, which that's a solid shout. RE4, the original, Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen, Dead Rising 4, Mega Man Legacy Collection, Dead Rising 2, Remember Me, Resident Evil HD Remaster, Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil Revelations, Ultra Street Fighter 4, Dead Rising 2, Off the Record, Lost Planet 3, and RE Revelations 2. That's just episode 1, so screw that. Yeah, this bundle is crazy. If you, it really depends on how many of these games you own, but let's just say you own none of them. The best route to go is DMC 5. I would say from a value standpoint, getting DMC Devil May Cry is really good, and then maybe like Resident Evil Revelations as a sleeper wouldn't be all too bad, but there's a lot of good options here, and for everybody, it's going to depend on which games you already own, but a lot of good options, and I saw some people leaving comments about and saying, why am I not covering this? And yeah, this bundle is crazy, and honestly, this bundle is probably a little bit better than the Castlevania deal, but I gotta get my bias across and get my games over that I want to promote, go buy Castlevania Dominus Collection so we can get a new Castlevania game. You feel me? We need more Castlevania, so I gotta promote that game a little bit more. Capcom gonna be doing what Capcom does, and they're kind of cooking as it is. Castlevania is what we need more out of, if you feel me. So go check that out. Good stuff there. And there's a lot of good deals from Bandai Namco and Sega running at Fanatical as well. We'll go through these fairly quickly. Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown is $5.39. Great deal on this. Action flight title. Banger soundtrack. I think Ace Combat's got one of the more underrated soundtracks in all of gaming, but definitely worthwhile to check that out. And $5.39, great deal there. You can get the Top Gun Maverick Ultimate Edition for $16.99, but base game for $5.39 is quite good. Gotta get Enslaved Odyssey to the Westover as well, $2.59 on that. I love this game. Played this game back when it came out, and I've been hyping this game up for like a decade. I feel like I've sold an absurd number of copies. I feel like I've added this game to an absurd number of people's libraries over the year. And you know what? Like, I'm happy to do so because I love this game. It was done by Ninja Theory, who at this point, mostly known for their work on Hellblade, Hellblade 2. They also did do DMC Devil May Cry, which is in that Capcom bundle, but Enslaved is a tremendous game. I really, really liked it from a setting standpoint. It's a post-apocalyptic game, but a very colorful and vibrant setting, which, you know, when I thought about post-apocalyptic back when Enslaved came out, it was like Fallout 3, and that's more of this, you know, dark and dreary setting. Enslaved is very colorful. Not crazy about the ending of this game, but I thought the gameplay was great. A little bit janky from like a camera angle standpoint and whatnot, but overall $2.59, great deal there for sure. Persona 5 Royal is $22.19, one of the greatest JRPGs of all time. Definitely a good pickup. I do like Metaphor better, and I've been vocal about that. That's just probably me not vibing with the high school setting. Like, I really like Metaphor's more fantasy setting, but, you know, Persona 5 had a great story, a dark story as well. Like, there's some craziness that goes on in this game, but Metaphor, just from a setting standpoint, is more up my alley, but it's still, Persona's fantastic. I just beat Persona 3 Reload as well. These games were great, and for $22.19. Yeah, it's pricey. Like I said, you know, with Castlevania, we ain't in the business to recommend a lot of games north of $10 on this channel all that often, but when they're at the level of P5R, I think this is a great pickup, so check that out. Another game north of $20, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot Legendary Edition, $26.39 on this. DBZ Kakarot is a great game, and, you know, I would play this game if you're a Dragon Ball fan, but you can enjoy this game without being a fan as well. It's a retelling of the Dragon Ball story. However, it's kind of fast-paced in the sense, like, bro, like, the original DBZ is, like, 270 episodes or something like that. You're getting it all in a 40-hour JRPG, maybe 50 if you do the side content. It's around that range, although with the Legendary Edition and all that content, it will be quite a bit more, but it's a worthwhile game. Legendary Edition includes a lot of DLC, not all of it, because we're gonna get Dragon Ball Diamond DLC, and we're gonna get that, you know, that SS4, you know, sorry, bro, if you haven't spoiled yourself on that, you're just too good at staying off spoilers. That SS4 gonna be in the Diamond DLC, and honestly, they're gonna give my $35 for that Diamond DLC for SS4, so, you know, it is what it is. $26.39 on that. Great deal. And the DLC that's in here, the alternate timeline Trunks episode, the Bardock episode, the 23rd World Tournament, and there's another DLC episode that wraps up the story of DBZ. It's a lot of good DLC. Not all of it's blowaway, but a lot of good stuff there, and I definitely recommend you to get the Legendary Edition. Scarlet Nexus is $7.79. This is one of those JRPGs that a lot of people think is super mediocre. I really liked it. I like the characters. I really like the gameplay. I totally get why people think it's super mid, but you know, as a JRPG fiend, I enjoyed it quite a lot, and I would definitely give it a recommendation. Persona 4 Golden is $8.99, excellent deal. However, it should be mentioned that there's a lot of rumblings of them remaking this game. It holds up fairly well, and I think you'll end up enjoying it quite a lot. $8.99 for that. I think that's a great deal. Definitely give that a look. Sonic Frontiers, 73% off for $16.49. Awesome deal for Sonic Frontiers. Whenever I see this for like well under $20, gotta give it a mention, and I think this is a great deal. There are some issues with it for sure, but I think foundationally they've set something great for what a sequel could be, and you saw a little bit of that come to fruition with the Shadow Generations campaign and Sonic X Shadow Generations. But yeah, $16.49 on that is great. Valkyria Chronicles $4.59, great tactics JRPG, good story, love the watercolor design, and for sub $5, definitely a great deal there. Tales of Arise is $8.79. Well, didn't gravitate towards this game that much from a character standpoint, but I thought it was really good from a visual standpoint. Gameplay was solid, and for $8.79, I do think it's a decent pickup. And lastly, I do want to give a shout to Helldivers 2 with all the buzz that game is getting. $27.59 on that. Great pickup there. Link in the description box to all of these deals, and if you do end up buying anything, I get a little bit of an affiliate kickback, which is much appreciated. But yeah, some great stuff across the board. Definitely check out Castlevania. The Build Your Own Capcom Bundle is great, and a lot of other great deals. Again, links to everything in the description box below. That'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.